Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to the Fairy Amazon Challenge in The Sims 4. We are following the reign of Queen Supriya Reed Daisy, who has recently had her youngest daughter age up into a child. Already, Princess Jadis seems to have a strong presence among the children. She not only looks vastly different from her mother and older sister, but has a personality to match her opposing appearance. Let's take a further look at her in Cass. Princess Jadis aspires to be a whiz kid and has the hot-headed trait. She's grown up seeing Lynette waste her time in the spotlight and feels that she would have done so much more if she were the firstborn. Not only does she have more interest in the world of politicking, but she holds fast to her opinions and is passionate when fighting her stance, which makes it all the more frustrating when her older sister makes light of her responsibilities and doesn't see the importance of paying attention to their ever-changing court. She also likes funny Sims and admires friends who are able to wield their wit in a useful way. It can be an advantage in court and a way to foster connections with others that can blossom into healthy alliances. In terms of appearance, I think I see more of her father in her. She looks so soft and cute compared to her personality, like a bunny, almost. I also gave her short hair compared to the other girls because I felt that she wouldn't have the patience to deal with long hair. She's also got the silver version of her mother's circlet, which marks her as a royal spare. And that's all for Princess Jadis. Okay, we are picking up at 3:30 a.m. on Friday. Let's go through some whims with our ladies and see what's going on in their minds. Starting off with Queen Supriya. She wants to go on a flight. So let's go ahead and send her flying. And I think Supriya actually has some things on her mind. So as you guys know, her youngest has just aged up into a child. Supriya has been observing. What is she doing? What are these clothes? No. What are these hideous clothes? Don't do that to me. No. Seriously, what are these hideous clothes? She has randomly generated some outfits and I don't know how to get rid of them. Seriously, I don't know how to get rid of these outfits that she has randomly generated into. Come on. Supriya? Because when I go into Cass, I can't find them and I don't have MC Command Center. Let's go flying. Like I was saying, guys, so she's been observing her children, and I think Supriya's getting a little bit worried by the fact that her youngest, Jadis, seems to have a stronger, more queenly personality compared to her oldest, who is the actual heiress. Lynette, as we know, enjoys the luxuries of being a crown princess and a royal fairy, but she doesn't see the importance of the court, politics, being a queen, duties that she will have to undertake once she is older. She sees no importance in that, and she doesn't have any interest, whereas Jadis, she seems more aligned with the way an heiress should be, and she is more aware of the way politicking works within the court. And also, she, I think, has the smarts to kind of figure out that their position in court, the nature of court, can be very volatile, and that is something they shouldn't take for granted as royal offspring. And Supriya is watching all of this. She's kind of already seeing the beginnings of their, greater personality, and she's a little bit concerned because really the roles should be switched. Jadis should be more like Lynette, and Lynette as heiress should be more like Jadis. She should be opinionated and strong and wanting to take part. Moving on to Lady Brent. So Brent wants to go swimming. Now, she, I think, is this Katarina? Katarina is swimming right now. Let's come in swim laps. But Brant, guys, I think she has noticed that Supriya's kind of worried about her daughters. I mean, Brant has been talking to Uther and some of the other kids, and she is kind of seeing the things that might concern our queen. And she's probably thinking to herself that if the queen is occupied with the princesses, she's not gonna have so much time to spend on Katarina. So Brent is kind of choosing to observe the way things pan out in court, and she is wanting to see how this shift might take up the Queen's time and affect Katerina. So Brent, I think, is in observation mode right now. Katerina wants to read a Sim's aura, so let's see whose aura she's going to read. Okay, so she has a 69 with Kayla, 100 with Bren, a 40 with Brent, and 100 with Supriya. And then she has an amazing compatibility with Supriya, so she's going to read Supriya's aura. Let's go ahead and read aura. Let's have a look. Maybe Katerina sees that the Queen is worried and she wants to know how the Queen's doing, because Supriya doesn't really want to talk to Katerina about this. Because yes, her being concerned about other stuff in court is different to her being concerned about someone in the royal lineage. Like, that's almost a family matter and a family weakness. And she is the second queen for the fairies to have. She's the second dynasty, and I don't think she wants to make her bloodline look weak by expressing, even to her closest friend, that she's worried about her daughters. So I think Supriya is not really telling Katerina what's on her mind. Katerina, out of her own concern and closeness with the Queen, might be wanting to kind of read her aura to figure that out. So let's see. Blue, the color of calm but commanding presence. I sense that you are very clever and in touch with your sacred identity. Okay, so I'm going to interpret that as Katerina thinking that the Queen is maintaining a sense of calm and being really clever about whatever it is that is concerning her, and she's not really wanting to talk, so she's not really going to push it. Bren, meanwhile, wants to bring a gnome to life, so Bren is going to find a gnome. First, I kind of feel like we should... There's a gnome down here, right? Is there... I don't see a gnome. I actually don't know if we have any gnomes about the place. We do. We have some gnomes up here. Okay, great. Well, let's grab some of this magical dust. Let's grab 4 and 5. And let's see. We are gonna bring a gnome to life for gardening. Thank you very much. But Bren, guys, she, as we know, is romantically involved with Katerina. And so I kind of feel like she is... quite observant of Katerina and attuned to her, so she might notice some things that others don't. Even though she hasn't really been someone that Brant has been complaining to, I think Brant has noticed that Brant gets a bit funny around Katerina, or she gets a little bit envious of her. And so Brant is a little bit worried about whether or not Brant is gonna do something to challenge Katerina. Brent's concerned, and that's, I think, why she doesn't really like Brant. And they have a bad compatibility, because she feels that, yes, Katerina kind of deserves all the praise and attention that she has, and Brant is being jealous for no particular reason. She's being unreasonable. Obviously, Bren's perspective on this is going to be a little bit skewed because she's romantically involved with Katerina, but I think she would be a little bit worried about how Brent is going to react. So she's watching Brent. And then we have Kayla. Kayla wants to enthuse about the outdoors, so let's see who she has the closest relationship with. She has a 69 with Katerina, 100 with Bren, a 90 with Brent, and 100 with Supriya. And she isn't closer to, like, she doesn't have a better compatibility with one of the other. Since that is the case, I think Supriya is the older fairy out of Bren and herself. So Kayla is going to give more respect to the queen, Supriya. And she is going to enthuse about the outdoors, if possible, with her. Would this be under interests or hobbies? Deep thoughts? I'm not entirely sure. Where would that be? I don't think it'd be in compliments or gossip. Small talk? Where is this? Okay, I'm just gonna have to pick something for her to do because I don't see that option. Let's just compliment the queen's outfit. And we'll consider this done. Okay, Kayla is wanting to talk to the queen. Now, while everyone is worried about various other things, Kayla is only focused on one thing, guys. She's focused on the fact that we have the new council that's going to be appointed on Sunday, and she needs to try her best to maintain a good relationship with Queen Supriya so that she can keep her position of counselor. I think that is all that Kayla's worried about. Everyone else, they have kind of other things going on in their mind, even though really they should be focusing on what's coming. Kayla is really the only one who is uninvolved with everything else enough to concentrate on what she actually has to do. So yeah, she's complimenting the queen's dress, she's chumming up to the queen a little bit. But that is all we have for our ladies. As the day ticked into night, Queen Supriya found herself bubbling with uncertain thoughts. She was becoming more and more inclined towards Jadis as the capable heir, and this was a huge problem, because Jadis was not the child fated to become queen, and thinking any less of her sister would cripple what little tolerance the members of court had for their crown princess. It is Saturday, the final day the fairies have to get close to the queen before the new council is appointed. So you would think that they would all be working very, very hard to make sure that they are on the forefront of our queen's mind. So let's go through their whims and see what's happening with them now. Queen Supriya, she wants to chat with a non-household sim. Now, to me, this would either be, let's see, the caretaker or the kids, but since the caretaker is kind of the only female fairy who's outside of the household, she's kind of up there in rank compared to the youngsters, I think the queen would be wanting to speak to Brittany. So where is Brittany actually? I think we're gonna try and summon Brittany over. Oh no, I can't go into, darn it, can we invite Brittany? I don't know if Brittany's gonna come. I don't know if Brittany's gonna come. Brittany, can you come over so we can chat with you? And I think this talk would have a lot to do with the children. Okay, Brittany's not gonna come, and I cannot summon her over because we apparently have a cursed book on the lot. Hooray for me. Okay, that means I'm gonna have to get the queen to interact with one of the kids that we currently have with us. So I'm gonna see who she has the closest relationship with, and I think just from a glance you guys can already tell that the queen's relationship with Jadis has gone up so quickly. She approves of Jadis way more than Lynette right now. So it is kind of clear to see that Supriya feels as though her youngest daughter Jadis is the better heiress, but she has to hide that and push that down because obviously it's not going to be a good look for the family if the queen herself is not supporting the crown princess. And I think Supriya knows that everyone has a bad impression of Lynette. They don't really hold her in very high regard, and so it's going to be, the final nail in the coffin if she's also acting kind of the same way. And she's, I think, wanting to make up for her daughter's shortcomings. So I initially was thinking she might want to talk to Brittany to try and see if Lynette has started growing or not in terms of her personality, whether or not she is changing. She's trying to check up on the crown princess because of all of these I think insecurities that Supriya is now having about her successor. But let's see her relationships with the kids to see who she might want to talk with. I'm gonna have to actually pause. She has a 20 with Titania, a 35 with Vivian, a 55 with Lynette, 100 with Uther, and a 93 with Jadis. Yeah, she really approves of Jadis. But she's gonna go and talk to Prince Uther. So let's go find... Wait, Uther, are you not with us? How are you not with us, Uther? This is ridiculous. Did he already go home? I mean, the girls... Wait. Why are the girls not with us? Is Jadis the only... Jadis is the only one hanging around. And I don't think any of the other kids are going to come right now if I summon them. So by default, the queen is going to be talking to Jadis. Okay. I think the more Jadis seeks Supriya out, and no doubt, based on what we've already learned about Jadis's personality, she would be wanting to build a connection with her mother because she kind of sees her mother's frustration with Lynette, and I think Jadis feels that she can step up to the plate. So, in all awareness, she would be seeking Supriya out and talking with her mother. And the more that Supriya talks, she's gonna maybe gossip about neighbors. The more that Supriya talks with Jadis, the more she sees the makings of a potentially good queen, of a successor that Supriya is gonna feel comfortable kind of leaving the court to in the future. I think with Lynette, she doesn't feel as though the crown princess has kind of the tools to take care of things on her own, because as queen, a lot of the burden is kind of on you to deal with, not just yourself, but everyone else around you. And Lynette just doesn't have that. So she's talking with Jadis. Oh my goodness. Okay, so did we complete this? We completed that. It is stuck. That's okay. Brant wants to harvest a plant. Okay, that kind of rhymed. Let's go ahead. Oh no, some of our plants are like not doing too well. Let's just harvest everything. Let's harvest everything down here. So Brant's gonna focus on this. Okay, she likes gardening. I mean, hey, that's great. That is great. I think one of our ladies actually dislikes the apothecary skill. I think it's Kayla, I'm not entirely sure. But Brant, she's gonna be working on the gardening. I think she was here earlier when the queen was enchanting some plants. And yeah, Brant's kind of just hovering. She's not really doing anything at this point, but I think she'd be hypersensitive towards the queen and really observant about the queen's behavior. And who knows, Brant might be biding her time for the long game. She might make a move a lot later than we anticipate, based on what she thinks is the optimal time to be making a move. For now, though, she's kind of holding back. And you know what? Some of the fairies, like Bran, are expecting Brant to retaliate in some way, but I think Brant is smarter than that. She's gonna bide her time for a little bit. She's not gonna kind of jump into the flames, you know? Katarina, meanwhile, wants to grant sacred blessing. So who would you want to grant a sacred blessing to? Okay, she has 100 with Supriya, 100 with Bren, 100 with Kayla, and 65 with Brant. It is going to be Queen Supriya. This is Katarina's own way of trying to, I think, have a really good relation with the queen. She's in a really comfortable spot in that she doesn't really have to try as much as the others with Supriya. They already have such a good compatibility. They have such a good relationship. All she has to do is visit the queen like once every once in a while. And grant her a sacred blessing, say some nice words, just remind the queen that they are actually on the same wavelength. And that's pretty much her done. So Katarina doesn't have to put too much effort into her relationship with Supriya. They are that secure. And now she's chatting with Jadis. So, okay, there we go. So Katarina, yeah, she at least didn't forget that they have a new council going to be appointed. She stands a very good chance of being chosen. So she's kind of doing her due diligence. Bren, meanwhile, wants to stargaze with Dustin Greymount, and it's daytime, so I'm going to interpret that as she wants to maybe look at the, like, cloud gaze? We still have this cursed book, so whether or not I get to do this depends on whether or not he will be invited. But Dustin is the fairy that Katarina had her twin daughters with. So that's kind of interesting that Bren is wanting to cloud gaze with him. And she has a bit of romance with Dustin. Let's invite him over and see if he's gonna come. It is very early in the morning, so he might just not. But okay, I guess Bren is attracted to even the fairy who is attracted to Katarina. They have like a, I don't know, a three-way thing going on. Okay, so we can't invite Dustin, which means I'm gonna have to ignore that. And she wants to flirt with someone though. And we do know that currently in the court she is involved with Katarina, so she probably wants to go and flirt with Katarina. So let's go ahead and flirt with her. Okay, go and give... Oh, Dustin? Dustin. He said he wasn't gonna come out and he just came out. Are you serious? Bren could have cloud gazed with you. That would have led to some very interesting spice. Oh well. Bren's gonna... Maybe she had a thought in her mind that she kind of wanted to learn more about Katarina. And maybe that's why she was wanting to spend time with Dustin, but then a part of her was also attracted to Dustin. But then she thought better of it and she said, you know what, I might as well just go to Katarina and see how she's doing. Okay, so good for them. Kayla, meanwhile, wants to bring a gnome to life, so I guess she's not really stressing about... she's not really stressing about getting close to the queen. I mean, she had her little moment of chumming up the day before. So that makes sense. Okay, let's just bring a gnome to life for gardening. I feel like that's the main thing I use the gnomes for, is for gardening. The fairies deal with the cleanliness pretty much on their own, so we don't really need any cleaners. Okay, there we go. Hopefully the Gnome Council, like, nobody's cheesed off at the ladies. Fingers crossed, everyone is kind of doing good. And with that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.